last example was have so much of symmetry and all the resistances were 1 ohm, but many times all the resistances are not 1 ohm. So it is written here, it should be noted that because of the symmetry of the network, the great power of Kirchhoff's rules has not been very apparent. That means that was not visible in the last example. In a general network, that means in any network, there will be no such simplification due to symmetry or all the resistance being equal, and only by application of Kirchhoff's rule to junctions and closed loop as many times as we want, we can handle the problem. This will be illustrated, or a much more good example is example 3.7. So let us see what is this example. Determine the current in each branch of the network shown in this figure. So we have given this figure and we have to calculate the current, determine the current in each branch of this network. So here you can see this network is much more complicated. First let us identify the batteries. So here there are two batteries, battery 1 and battery 2. A, B, C, D, and this point is not epsilon, this point is E. This is wrongly mentioned, this point is E. So A, B, C, D, E. So 5 points are there. Now let us see the batteries. This 5 volt and 10 volt resistance is 4 ohm, 1 ohm, 4 ohm, 2 ohm and 2 ohm. So these are 5 resistances, 4, 4, 1, 2 and 2 ohms, and batteries are 5 ohm and 5 volt and 10 volt. Now let us solve this circuit using the Kirchhoff's law. So they have started at this point, so we can mark any current with anything, but that should be consistent. So starting from this point, so current going like this is current I1, current I1. So current I1 reached at this point, junction point A. At point A, the current is I1. I1 was entering the junction. Now the currents leaving the junction. What are the currents leaving? This one and this one. Two currents are leaving. So one current is marked as I2. What would be the second current? We can mark this second current as I dash. What is I dash? I dash is equal to, because we know the currents leaving the junction is equal to current entering the junction. I dash is equal to I1 minus I2. I1 minus I2. So that is the current. Till now we have marked three currents. 1, I2, this is I1 minus I2. So in this 4 ohm resistance, current is I2. This 1 ohm, because it is coming from backward, and in the backward you see there is no branching. So in this 1 ohm resistance, current is also I1. In this 4 ohm resistance, current is I1 minus I2. So up to this point we have solved. Now let us see this battery. We have assumed that this side I3 current is going towards B point. So I3 current is going towards point B. Now I3 is current is coming to B, and from this side I2 current, and this is only way of leaving the current. So from this side current is coming, this side current is coming, current will leave this way. So what would be the total current? Current going inside must be equal to current going outside. So if this current is, let us say, I dash, so what would be that? I2 plus I3, I2 plus I3. So this is the current, I2 plus I3 in this. Now last branch, what would be the current here? So if you see this I2 plus I3 current at this junction point, it is divided into two parts, one going here, another one going here. So current entering in the junction must be equal to current leaving the junction. So if you say this current is I dash, so what would be this I dash? So this I2 plus I3. So this is equal to I2 plus I3. But here we have seen another current I1. So this I2 plus I3 divided into two parts, I1 and this I dash. This I dash. So in this case, what is I dash? I dash is equal to I2 plus I3 minus I1 minus I1. So I2 is this I2 plus I3 has divided into two parts, I1 this side and I dash this side. I1 plus I dash is equal to I2 plus I3. I dash is equal to I2 plus I3 minus I1. So we have calculated the currents in each and every branch. I1 is divided into two parts, I2. This will be I1 minus I2. Then at this point, I2 is entering, I3 is entering. So I2 plus I3. Here I2 plus I3 minus I1. I1 is this side, I2 plus I3 was total. So remaining is I2 plus I3 minus I1. So these are the currents. Also we can verify at point D. So at point D, current, how much current is coming? I1 minus I2. From this side, how much current is coming? I2 plus I3 minus I1. So if these are two currents entering and this is the current leaving, so these must be equal. So I3 current is leaving. Let us check that how I3 current is leaving. So current entering is I2 plus I3 minus I1 and plus I1 minus I2 is equal to I2 and I2 are cancelled, I1 and I1 cancel. So current leaving must be equal to I3. So whole circuit now we have labeled. As we started with the Kirchhoff's law, first we have labeled all the circuit. This is I2 in 4 ohm. In this 4 ohm AD, I1 minus I2. In this 2 ohm, I2 plus I3 minus I1. In this 2 ohm, I2 plus I3. And in this 1 ohm, I1. So we have marked the circuit. Now we have to determine the current in each branch. So let us see the solution. Each branch of the network is assigned an unknown current. So we have assigned the unknown currents I1, I2 and I3 to be determined by the application of Kirchhoff's rule. So we have assigned the currents I1, I2 and I3 and we will apply some Kirchhoff's rule. To reduce the number of unknown at the outset, the first rule of Kirchhoff is used at the every junction to assign the unknown current, because what they are saying, we could have assigned, what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this, that we have taken this current I1, we have taken this current I2. This third current is I1 minus I2. We could have taken this I4 or I5, but why did we not take this? Because we have used Kirchhoff's first rule, the sum of currents entering the junction must be equal to sum of the currents leaving the junction, to reduce the number of I1, I2 and I3, number of unknown currents. Otherwise there would be far more unknown and solving them becomes much more difficult. So that we have used. We then have three unknowns. So at last we have three unknown currents, I1, I2 and I3, which can be found by applying the second Kirchhoff rule at three different closed loops. So we have three different closed loops and we will determine the currents I1, I2 and I3 using these loops and applying Kirchhoff's second rule. So let us see what is the first loop. So first loop is ADCA. ADCA. So what is the loop? A, D, C, A. So this is the loop. this is the loop, this is first loop. Okay,